Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities Skylines, the 1 hour a day build with me, your host and insane mayor, Zerberus. Yesterday, as you can see by the way we're flying around here, we hit Megalopolis and were therefore able to purchase all the tiles, all the land. Everything here is ours. And since we have all the land, and this was kind of like, yeah, just really not a bad spot at all to put this, we put a hydroelectric plant back here, raised the water supply. Of course, we dammed off the back wall so that where the fog is, so that all that water wouldn't go spilling out the back, making putting a dam here completely pointless. And what we do, however, have now, since we still have the game on pause, is this. So we're probably going to get some interesting flooding right from the start up here. And that may or may not cause us some sort of issues. Because what's going to happen, this is going to cause a wave. Well, it's going to settle down in here eventually. It will take a little while though, and that's always going to have a little bit of an overspill effect then. And then, however, it's going to cause a wave that propagates here towards the back, bounces back, and then will spill over the top again. So while the initial flooding probably wasn't too bad, the second wave is probably going to be much worse. So we'll just take a look at that. And here we come. It's not too bad, but it's probably going to be enough, at least to cause some problems up in here. And that's actually something we want to take note of, because what we're doing right now, what we want to do right now, is also start to look as to where we want to put like our external little settlements back here. I'm thinking we may do something with like forestry or ore in this area. This area, I don't know why, just kind of like seems predestined for farmland. And of course, we also need an oil industry somewhere. That might even be, we may just put that like off the coast here somewhere. But yeah, as far as farming and like here, there's ore in them Nar Hills. Yeah, we're gonna want to have a settlement back here somewhere. The question is really just how bad is this flooding? Well, we're once again completely inundating this area. I think it's probably, yeah, it's gonna go probably to about where everything's already dead still from yesterday. Let's change the time of day and get rid of that day-night cycle for the time being. And I'm still not sure whether or not the initial flood wave from building this has actually even reached the city yet, now that I think about it. That should at least theoretically be like here somewhere. Although it may have just... yeah, here's where it is. So we're already getting some flooding problems back in down here. As the water just slowly moves forward. So that's something we may eventually have to deal with, because as you can see, it's, well, it started to flood the rail lines, but it appears to be evaporating away. But just because all of this is lowlands, water really just carries for quite a distance once it gets off, once it gets out of the banks. So while we consider where to put other things, that's again something we're probably going to want to keep an eye on. What time is it anyway? 7:45. Okay. So let's see. What would look good where? In fact, what natural resources do we have? That's probably the better way to look at this. We've got farmland back in here. We've got farmland back here. No farmland here. Do we have oil or ore anywhere? We have some ore up in here. And some fertile land. So I think this area is going to be where we're going to go with our with some ore production. Let's just mark it off, at least as like a theoretical thing. Doesn't have to be marked off as an industry area yet, but just so we have an idea. And where was all that fertile land? We wanted to not necessarily set resources, but look where they are. It was all in this area, so that, yeah, would probably work well for farming. It's also far enough away from the water, so I think we'll just like cordon this off. Obviously, we're probably not going to need anywhere near this much space. They're actually going to be turned into numerous smaller districts, probably. But, again, just so we have a bit of a mental idea of what we want to put where. And I'm thinking forestry up back in here. Nice is that they all also basically immediately have a rail connection, which is sweet for goods transfer. So yeah, we'll mark this out as forestry somewhere up here-ish. And I think with oil we may go... Oh, you know what? Wait a sec. Don't we have that one big island off the coast that's kind of bordering on what we wanted to make into like a large port area? Yeah. So this is where oil is going to go. Oil is just all going to be offshore, and that'll be the end of that. Because that's not just the easy solution, but that's also the smart and sexy solution. And I think we forgot to set this one up to forestry. And then this area, like over here. And then just, yeah, I don't see any reason at all that shouldn't work just fine. We may even be able to give them their own harbor. It does kind of suck for this landmark out here, though. We may have to figure out a way to build around that. So what we need to do then is draw this out as an industry area as well. And what we'll do is we'll just put our own oil deposits down under wherever the offshore drilling facilities wind up being. It's just the most sensible way to do it. But I think I saw actually some, yeah, there's actually some oil in here. Actually, not even a small deposit, so we can actually really get our, how should I say, we can get our production up relatively quick. So where is that exactly? It's right there. So can we build a road here? Yes, we can. What's a story as far as a cargo harbor goes? Or a cargo hub, I should say. Oh, geez, that's almost... Yeah, that should work really well. Because we have really nice access to that from just about anywhere. So oil is just as, basically just has direct access. Yeah, that should work reasonably well, but that's obviously completely the wrong road. There's absolutely no two ways about that. So, but where do we want the main building? Because what's also obvious is that this needs a way to come to get to the highways, and we don't want to steal it off of here, basically. Traffic connection to here. We're almost forced to put in some form of crossing here. And just come straight down here, like with our own highway. Let's see what that would look like. Just out of curiosity. Oh, we do have those 8-lane roads as well. We're not going to use them here, obviously, but... would have to come in like over to here and then curve around. That would be the way it would have to go, like so-ish. Obviously, again, that's not the road we're going to use here. Just kind of mocking it up quick to see if that would make any sort of sense to build that like that. Got the oil here. Obviously, we're going to want to send those to, send anything that we get out of that to, what do you call them? To storage and other plants really fast. Basically, as soon as we can. So, ground resources. Yeah, now this area is just filled with oil. And that's what we wanted. Just off of this road, just have a nice big deposit so that we can really get something out of that. So, yeah. Basically, we have to knock out this highway, and since this is basically already kind of becoming Turbine City, we'll just drop in another turbine there, especially since this is going to be industry traffic, so it is to be expected that it will not be light. So, sorry guys, but all of this has to go. And probably even more. Is that raised? No. For a second there I thought it was. No, really? What other reason would there have been to ask that question? So now we have freeform on, yeah. I think we'll just redraw that. It'll probably be easier than... So now we need new highway coming out here. I think we'll take this highway like up, yeah, basically up to here or so. That should be enough. Second part was a fail. That one goes over, that one goes under, that's okay. Basically just a little element of realism. You know what, we'll actually extend this even further. Up to like here. And we'll, of course, once again, connect up there like that. So, and in fact, I think what we're going to do is that right about here, we're going to connect these two up. And now we're going to throw on the roundabout builder. Can I not do that right there? So, okay, we need anarchy. Seriously? Okay, that didn't work. Then we'll do it differently. Oh, and now we can put a roundabout in there. We should be able to put a roundabout in there. Increase the size. Obviously we don't want a heavy roundabout, but a 4-lane highway. I have no idea what the difference between a 4-lane highway and a 4-lane highway 335 is, but it'll work. Whatever the difference is, this looks just fine. So then we'll want a road like this. Just slowly coming back up here. We will, however, want separate lanes in each direction. Don't necessarily need that right now, nor do we need anarchy right now. Move that in just a hair. Obviously we don't want them turning around here, although nobody should really want to. Yeah, And this will basically then be the beginning of our oil industry. We'll put our main building here a little bit off to the side. And in fact, you know what? We're going to go with 2 lanes off, 2 lanes on. Oh, we can't really reasonably shift S that because we don't have a 4-lane road coming down yet. So obviously we will change that. In fact, that's a problem. I just realized. Well, not a problem because that's not a pre-installed road. But it might become a problem later now that I think about it. So here we just want a 2-lane industry road. Again, we put our main building off on here. There, now this is officially oil industry. And so now we need pumps. We just want to toss in enough to make sure that we're not going to run out of. Well, they should actually, even though they're small pumps, just because they're this close to the oil, they should all be doing just fine. But we are going to add a little bit more oil on this side, just to make sure they actually have oil to pump. Although I think the radius is actually pretty large, so shouldn't really be an issue. And then from the pumps, we want to go to storage facilities. Okay. Just a little bit. Oh, that's beautiful. That's just like right there already, exactly where we need it to be. And then crude oil storage goes in on here. Now this one gets set to fill. This one gets set to balanced, and this one gets set to empty. And we'll put our first sludge pyrolysis plants over here as well. And that should get us a decent oil industry running reasonably fast. So, but from there we actually then need warehouses. And so this is going to be a large warehouse for petroleum. Oh, wait a sec, that's right. We don't want the large warehouse, we just want, at least for the time being, we want a few smalls. Again, just so we once again have the same fill, balanced, empty setup. Petroleum, 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 and then fill, balanced, empty. The idea being that we always want to keep this one full. This one is basically transfer, and the third one is then going out to anyone who actually may want it for whatever reason. Trying to think, do we maybe actually want to put more crude oil storage in here first, and then have our pyrolysis plants like Yeah, exactly, that's what we'll do. This will also be set to balanced. And we'll set up one here. That's set to empty. Because that one has primarily the job to make sure the oil sludge pyrolysis plants are filled. Same with this one. We'll just put up 3 pyrolysis plants. Obviously, they're going to be complaining for resources in the beginning. That said, we can kind of overdo it with oil production. We can put another one in right there. Or there-ish. And we can actually move this a little bit down. See if we can't get 1 or 2 more on the other side as well. Well, you know what? We can always anarchy them in. No, we can't. Not even with anarchy are we going to get those in. Unless we raise the terrain height here a little bit. But you know what? I think for now, since this is really just the very, very beginnings of this, and we don't really have... Oh, that's just showing us the same plants again, exactly. But what we do obviously want out here is fire and police coverage. Yeah, that should work. Should work reasonably well. I mean, they have 0 workers, and that's the issue right now. Oh, not enough water is the issue right now. Oops. Yeah, the classic. Damn humans and their water. Drink beer, for Christ's sake. Oh, that's right. I haven't even opened up a beer yet, have I? But, exactly, since this is a separate settlement, in a way at least, they are going to get their own water pumping facility. And I think we're even build an extractor. We've built multiple extractors. What's your problem? What we'll actually do is see if we can't toss one of those like right in on the roundabout. It has road access. Well, you know what? Wait a sec. We'll actually move it back a little bit. Oh no, it doesn't even fit in the roundabout. So let's just ixnay that idea completely and just put it out over here, just right on the tip of this road. Okay. Slight rework. Now we put node snapping back on, connect this back up to there, pull this back down to here. And now that problem should be solved, except for the fact that they're not actually pumping any water. Why do they not have a road connection? Why do they firmly believe they do not have a road connection? Is that because we used anarchy to put those in? Was that the reason? Let's see. Because we can upgrade these without anarchy. No, we can't. Oh, because it's the same type. Oh yeah, and now they have, or they think they have, proper road access. Excellent. Everybody's just dropping off oil here, of course. But it's not coming out at a stupid speed yet. Oh, I see what's going on. We got a lot of people bringing in oil from outside the city. Or is it even from outside the city? Or is he just moving that fast already? Oh yeah, he's already there. Yeah, we've got oil trucks coming in from outside. That's what's going on. That means that eventually they should start getting oil once these things fill up. Still waiting on the resource units, and of course we still need workers. Obviously we're not earning money yet. Oh no, we actually have more than enough workers. We're actually just working on the resources. Again, I think once these fill up, then they'll start requesting resources from over here. Because this one, yeah, is also already at 10%. And that one's at 29, even though that's set to... Oh, because it's also set to balanced. Okay, that's right. Okay, then this is still working. The important thing is that this one doesn't wind up filling itself up completely, because that's really just for, like, overload. Yeah, and that's what's going on. It's just got a lot of oil coming in from outside the city right now first. Yeah, and they're also now getting oil, but they're getting it from outside the city first. Or at least this one's getting oil. The others will get it soon enough. Oh, this one might not. I think we only need 2 of those, though. Obviously, we're not outputting any petroleum yet. That's just all about the amount of resources that we produce now. Mini oil pumps are so cute. Yeah, and I think what we'll then do, we'll just drag this road down here, and then we'll start putting some offshore rigs up here. That'll just be our main source of production. And actually, only having the industry over here, that actually frees up an astounding amount of room over here that we might use for, yeah, possibly even residential between these two. Although I do kind of want, again, there's still kind of this port harbor idea going on. Oh yeah, we could actually. But would that unnecessarily stress the roundabout? Well, right now, obviously not. But the idea I just had is maybe to put another cargo hub out here. Because that would also have the advantage of being able to use a rail line to just go across here, basically. And then just have the traffic just come off the roundabout and bring it to there. But I don't really think that's a good idea, necessarily. I think we may actually even want to go off of this road in that direction. We will have to take a look. What's the story here? And petroleum is starting to fill up. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now they have enough oil. So it's really just a question of how fast these fill up. That's almost completely filled. That's almost at 40%. That one's at 74%, which is too high for balanced. And that one's at 0%, which is where it's supposed to be, so this does seem to be looking just fine. And our losses are actually going down as well. We're down to only 800 a week in losses. Workers also appear to be more than expected, to be honest. Yet they're still having problems with customers, which is kind of interesting. What's the story on unemployment? 6%. So, no real reason to add more residential yet. When will that third cemetery finally fill up? That's really what we're waiting for here, is for one of these third cemeteries to finally fill up. And then we'll just go with the crematoriums everywhere. But the thing is, until that fills up, we won't get the Lazarette Plaza. And we do want that. Yeah, but we've got a nice income of 61,000 right now. Considering that this industry isn't even really running properly yet, that's really not half bad. Oh, the petroleum's already coming out. We're not actually exporting oil yet, which is interesting. And since we're almost at 500, just grab a sip of beer quick and wait for it to go bling, or whatever the exact sound is. Cheers! That's right, I even forgot to open up a beer before. And this is just all still traffic coming from the outside. So now it gets interesting. Because those crude oil caverns are actually much larger, I think, than the other ones. 40,000, and these will do 300,000. So we can get a crude oil cavern in here somewhere. Of course we can't. Oh, that's not so bad. We can now build a petrochemical plant. And we will. The question is just how big is this and which way does it hang off the road? It's about that size, so I think if we build that line around here-ish, coming off, we should be fine. Once again, remembering that we also need incoming warehousing and outgoing warehousing. So here we'll have a cavern set to empty. Throw in 2 petrochemical plants. And once again our triple warehouses. In fact, we'll do this just a little bit differently. We'll actually go with 2 smalls and a large. The large will be our fill warehouse. So, and this is now producing plastics, exactly. So, need to go down to plastics, fill, plastics balanced, and plastics empty. And now we can consider whether or not we might want to maybe build a unique factory off of here, but I don't think we even have access to any yet. Oh, yes we do. We can build the household plastic factory. The question is, do we want... Well, you know what? Might even... Yeah. We'll extend this a little bit. And these will actually be commercial goods warehouses. Or in unique factories, I should say. Because what we'll do then, we'll toss this over here. Smoothie factory. I get a feeling that's not going to get us far. Oh, that's right. That was a DLC factory. That's right. And the what exactly does the smoothie factory need, though? They need crops and plastics. So without the crops, we're not going to get very far on that. But what we can do is just add, again, once in those 3 warehouses, just plastics empty, plastics balance, and plastics full. And that should add enough for us to, well, you know what, we'll add another petrochemical plant. And I think that should now be able to hold that. Need 1,500 resources to our next level, so what's the story on extractors? Did we get any new ones? Yes, we did. We got small oil drilling rigs. And a water issue. Once again, the Umbrella Corporation not holding up their end of the bargain. So, as far as resource production goes, we should now be going completely nuts. Yeah, that's just clicking up real fast, and it's probably going to start clicking up even faster once these start actually working. This is already completely filled. 34% for balanced, 90% for balanced. I'm not sure why that's called balanced, but and this is empty. They have enough. They have enough. We'll actually add more oil sludge pyrolysis while we're already at it. Two more is going to be too much, although we might be able to move. Yeah, exactly. 2 more is not going to be too much. But actually, that's going to be just right. Because you're gonna see just how fast they actually get resources here. Just immediately comes from here and they bring it over there. That could not be working better. Seriously, they have no water? Can you please explain why? Oh, because there's this one little spot in here that wasn't filled. How hilarious is that? Oh, and they don't have trash. So we need a solution for that. And I think that will actually solve really simply, because there's going to be pollution out here anyway. There's absolutely no way we can get around it, so we may as well just drop an incinerator back there and be done with it. We don't want the incinerator out here. This area we want to try and keep somewhat pollution free. And I think we can even build barracks now, can't we? Yes, we can. And the barracks are not anything to sneeze at either. They are surprisingly important. Obviously none of them have water right now. We'll change that soon enough. Sorry about that. Oh. And now this should start just rolling. Although we do have significant costs now because we have a huge amount of workers that we could actually fit in here and everything. We're still importing a little bit, but that's probably going to go down real fast, real far, relatively soon. The 6,000 in costs are not really a problem, especially since we now have a unique factory that's running. In fact, what we need to do is pump that up a little bit. We now have a toy factory as well, so what that means, one is that we're going to pause the game and look at the toy factory, see what exactly they need as far as resources go. Just drop it in anywhere, it doesn't matter. We just need to have it somewhere so we can see what it needs. Seriously, do I have to create an extra road just to put this on? Then we will create an extra road just to put this on. Or we'll just extend this anyway because we're going to have to. So what exactly does a toy factory need? Paper, plain timber, and plastics. So that's not going to do us any good because we don't have paper and we don't have plain timber yet. We need a forestry area to get those. But I think overall this is going to serve us quite well. Don't appear to be any obvious imbalances. We've got the resources that we need. Exactly. Did we get any more new extractors? Yes, we got large oil pumps for 8,000 units a week. Because the oil pumps we were using apparently weren't big enough yet. You know what? We're going to move this one. No, we're not. Going to move this one. Let's see if we can't get that large oil pump in here now. Yes, excellent. We still can't go offshore, can we? No, we still need to wait for that. We do now have oil industry storage, which I think is actually quite small. Yeah, we can almost fit that in there. Well, we can fit that in there, actually. Yeah, that's just fine. That little half-inch of road is nothing. Although what we want to do, we want to actually set that up to fill. No, we'll set that to balanced, exactly. The idea being that that will then provide for this one. And considering the amount of resources we're producing, really isn't looking half bad. We'll just put in that road already, because we know we're going to put offshore down here. That actually looks somewhat reasonably well planned out. Yep. Yeah, now this is totally making us money as well. Have almost nothing as far as petroleum and plastics goes in storage, but that's not necessarily a problem. Just means we can definitely still produce more, and we will. In fact, well, the petroleum, that's actually something we're not going to be able to do much about, I think, until like the next level or something like that. Because I think we need the naphtha cracker plant, or the waste oil refining plant is what we need for that, and the naphtha cracker is for plastic again. But the waste oil plant is, we can't even see how big that is right now. Yeah, we're gonna hit the 4,500 easily. The 550 workers are a joke. So we already have quite a reasonably large oil industry even already running here. Foggy Petroleum. Not really a fan of the name. We can probably figure out something better. Oh, really? That's one lane? That's, of course, Sholbit. Did I not upgrade that? That's stupid of me. Now the unique factory's over here. So this is obviously the way out for them. We may even wind up having to use 4-lane roads just so people can drop off without getting in others' way, although that's not really a problem yet. Not really to the point where that's going to cause us any sort of grief. When do we get the offshore wells? Large drilling rigs are at level 4, and the offshores, oh, they're actually even level 5. So but we may be able to put a few of the large rigs like over here somewhere. Or like in, yeah, or in here. Haha. Yeah, but we can't actually test those yet because we're not at level 4. How much longer is that going to take? Oh, another 500 resources. So that's literally just going to be an issue of seconds. Excellent, excellent, excellent. 4,100, 4,150. We're not importing anything anymore, so this is all pure production. And as a result, it's turning a net profit for the most part, not including what the unique factory is running. And they're just producing some household plastics. Not enough special goods. Oh, that's probably not going to last long. You know what? We need a 4-lane road up here. They're getting in each other's way, and that's what's causing the delay. And so we may as well do that here as well. And here. And probably here. Oh, there's level 4. Yeah, I was about to say, you guys have your own incinerator and you're not picking up trash there? What is exactly is going on? But yeah, we know what's going on. Everything figured itself out. Those are 2 large oil drilling platforms then as well. We'll also throw out probably, oh my god, 18,000 a week. So it's actually kind of pointless to even have some of these others, although these large oil pumps are also, they're not even that useful. I'm just realizing. But I think we can get another one in over here if we really try hard. Yeah, but do we want to? I think it actually looks better with the numerous different types of pumps out here, as opposed to like just one monoculture. And it's really just a question now of how exactly the offshore platforms are going to link in. But what we also want to do now, we want to add a waste oil refining plant. We'll just add that right in here. In fact, we'll add 2 in here if we can, which we can't, but that's okay. Can we maybe extend that road just a hair and get another one in there? Really? Slope actually is a little bit steep, so. But not steep enough. See if we can't move this one out here. No. So what are the numbers difference-wise? 8,950, and these do 17,000. So yeah, basically we can just delete these, or at least 2 of them, and replace them with waste oil refining plants. Oh, with 3 of them even, and that will, well, one, probably overload our production, but more importantly will give us what we need as far as resources goes. They should get dropped off pretty quick. Yeah, they're running now. And so these are, that's completely filled, that's 12%, and that's 1%. Yeah, excellent. And I think as soon as our petroleum levels start going up a little bit more, then we're also going to see better production coming out of this. Or more stable, constant production, I should say. And then we really just need the naphtha cracker plant and like some large storage tanks, basically. But we don't really want to put like the large storage tanks like here directly on the road, unless we want to use them like more for style than anything else. What's the story on the numbers? How much do we need? Okay, so we do still need like another 10,000 resources, almost, until we get the last level, but that's really not much of an issue. And I think that's basically just more or less what we're going to wind up finishing as. That's an offshore oil drilling platform, exactly, and that's the naphtha cracker plant. Once those are in, once we have the cash for that, then we can start slowly but surely looking at other things again. In fact, what we may also want to do is extend like some normal oil industry out over in this area. Some zoned industry, basically, and not the industry's DLC industry. And to be honest, I think we may want to download some different warehouses as well, because if we're only using these warehouses all the time, then I think it's going to get real boring real fast. But as far as layout goes, this is actually really nice. We've got all our production here. Then here we've got some storage, and first, what is that? Oh, that's the incineration plant, that's right. And then here we've got waste oil and sludge pyrolysis. And then over here we then get our plastic production, and we immediately then go to unique factories, and oh yeah, petroleum's way up now all of a sudden. Yeah, so overall this is working just fine. We just need to produce more. So, oh, wait a sec, what's with that garbage issue over there? Why are we getting garbage problems here? We are no longer getting garbage problems here, so that doesn't appear to be a widespread issue. There was somebody over here with a noise complaint. Actually, we've got 10 people with noise complaints, so there's obviously a whole area that has a noise complaint somewhere. Would probably be down here. Yeah, right next to the highway, yeah. Right where you would expect them to have a noise complaint. You know what, we'll go in and we will tear that out and replace it with commercial. Because commercial over here means the organic and local goods anyway, which is super quiet and will actually do a good job, I think, of buffering the highway noise. Obviously it's going to cost us some population, but it's not like we don't have more than enough room to still move in back there, so. How's the noise over in that corner? Over here it's not so bad, but particularly here with the off-ramp and everything, that was just too much for him. And over here with the industry on the other side, it was also too much. The rest should be fine. So those noise complaints should be gone. Now we're getting 14 flooding complaints, and where are those? Those are coastal. Or do we have any more that we're not noticing? No, it's only those 4. And now it's 6 people that don't have trash reasonably well. Is that a coverage issue, or what's going on? That is actually a bit of a coverage issue, yep. So we may or may not want to put a transfer facility in here. How loud are these? Loud enough that you'd want to have them in a commercial zone. And of course, I could just also just put an incinerator in here, but that's like the worst idea ever. Probably do a much better idea with that. I think the transfer facility is probably actually going to be the best idea. It's not a massive problem, but they are on the border to it becoming a problem. But for the most part, it's running. And we've got up to 9,000. Oops, there goes the chat. Sorry about that. Ugh, screw you too, dumb cell phone. Anything I missed? No, nothing of massive importance in the chat. So, another sip of beer, since we're really just waiting for this to come in, and that's really, yeah, I mean, we're at the end of the stream anyway. So what we're going to do is we're really just going to finish this oil industry and then call it quits for today. I'm actually surprised that we got this entire industry and upgraded in one setting. I actually would have expected this to take a little bit longer. But yeah, we're making 23,000 off of petroleum. We're making 7,000 a week off of plastics, and yeah, 5,000 a week off of raw oil. And we're completely flooded in oil. So yeah, we need more plastic production. And that's excellent, because that's exactly what we're about to get. And just look at this number crawl up. Oh my god, and we actually have 2,000 workers in there even? That surprises me a little bit. I didn't think we'd be able to get that many workers that fast. That said, probably down here we're going to have the first issues of not enough buyers for products, right? Because we're just producing so much. Yeah. So we currently have a petroleum overproduction. So, yeah, next level is going to be very important, because we're going to need a few of those. A few naphtha cracker plants. No, not the... Yeah, I think it's the naphtha cracker plants. Which ones are it that creates plastics? That doesn't matter. We'll find out in, what, a minute or so when we finally get to upgrade it. And again, there's still also the consideration of putting in like a cargo harbor over here so that they don't have to actually use the highway to export it, but can just basically ship it straight off, cause their oil slicks somewhere else. Yeah, this worked out really nicely. I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. I'm actually gonna just blast a screenshot off quick. Now we can get out of this mode. I mean, traffic isn't perfect, but it's not horrendous either. It's still flowing somewhat reasonably. Oh yeah, that's right, we can actually do like our standard traffic fixes, and that'll already help significantly. You know, things like dedicated turning lanes. So that not everybody's queuing up in the same direction. And that they can get out in both directions much more easily once there's nothing in the way. Yeah, and that just immediately started to let things lighten up a little bit. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Once again, 6 places that are having a problem with trash, but again, I think we know what the issue is there. We just need to add waste transfer or something as soon as we can. But yeah, that's not something we're going to do today. Today we are just going to be really happy that this BAM just went in like it was nothing with no real problems, which I'm starting to think might be a sign of me actually starting to understand a little bit about this game and how it works. Maybe I'm not the worst noob in the world after all. Maybe I did actually learn something along the way. Although that said, part of the excellent materials pipeline that we have is really also the, what's it called? I totally have to look, because it is a mod that we have, and what that mod does is it does the best it possibly can to source more effective transfer options. What that does exactly, for example, warehouse first, fix warehouse spawn and unspawn position, reserve warehouse cargo trucks for local transfer. So you can basically so what this does, it tries to get things always from the closest warehouse or storage facility in general. It always tries to take it from the closest one. And if the closest one can't help them, because either no trucks or no materials, then it goes to the next closest one. Really actually similar in a lot of ways to the way like some taxi routing softwares and dispatching softwares work, because it's also just, okay, who's closest, who can get here fastest with materials. Yeah, again, basically the exact same principle. Yeah, again, we're also still getting some occasional not enough buyers for products issues. That's totally to be expected. We just really want to hit these 500 more so we can just pop in, again, just like 1 or 2 offshore plants, and most importantly 2 or 3 plastic plants, because again, you can see petroleum, is totally way up. We're basically over brimming as far as petroleum goes and as far as oil goes, but plastics we're just totally hanging back, and yeah, we'd like to see that fixed before we continue, before we move on. But we're almost there. And congratulations, our oil industry is now level 5, running at 132% efficiency and minus 40% pollution. No, the game hasn't hung up. I just needed my hands for like 2 seconds to do something not game related. So now, Polly wants a quacka. A NAFTA quacka. Give me my NAFTA quacka. Can we even get two in at all? We might be able to get one in between these if we space those out a little bit more. I think we can actually get two in here. Just bam and bam. Now they don't have petroleum. Why don't they have petroleum? Is the next petroleum that far off? We may have to add a petroleum warehouse in here, a small one. Or at least a storage yard. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll add some storage yards in here as well, so that they can get their petroleum more easily. That will be storage mode empty, standard resource petroleum. And we'll set up a yard here with for balanced. If we can still fit it in here somewhere. We'll probably get a medium warehouse in here. That'll be balanced. And that'll be full. We'll just use the space in between. In fact, no, we don't need the full warehouse at all. We can actually turn one of these at least into oil products, sorry. And this one will turn into petroleum, and this one will set to balance. It is set to balance, so petroleum in here. And that should sort their supply chain by having a full warehouse filling over here. And being able to deliver it over here more quickly. So what's the story on that sneaker factory? I don't think we're going to be able to run that, are we? I think we need animal products for that, right? Petroleum refinery needs, yeah, petroleum, plastic, and metals. So if as soon as we can get metals, we can run a petroleum refinery. And the sneaker factory requires paper, and crops. Why does it need crops? I would have expected animal products for leather. It doesn't matter. And the smoothie factory, unfortunately, doesn't have a... Oh, that's right. Bento, that's those Japanese sandwiches. That's right. That's... I did already... yeah, like the Duff Brewery and things. I did download some different unique factories already. But nothing groundbreaking yet. Garbage processing status is overall starting to become a problem, so that said, money is not. So we'll just put another one right here. Wherever we have one incinerator, we'll just drop in another one. The problem over here is really just proximity to the collectors, but there should now be enough collectors that should be solved. I mean, let's see. Where were the guys with trash issues? It was this guy up here, for example. And where is his coming from? Ah, yeah, it's already almost there. So, yeah, while occasionally trash piles up a little bit, it never really piles up to the point of becoming a problem or people abandoning because of it. So, we are fine. And since we now have a level 5, we can use offshore rigs. That one might be an issue. Now it's not. Oh, and now we need a 4-lane road here. That's what we need. Well, actually, we don't even need that second part up there. That can go be something else. Yeah, that's what we needed. Oh, I didn't. No, I wanted to not anarchy that. Sorry about that. And we do want, like, node snapping and everything on again. Ah, that was the issue. Okay. There. Now that works. And of course they want water. And they need oil out here. Nothing easier than that. We have found a massive, massive little oil bank there, right? Yes, by pure chance, right here is a lot of oil and nowhere else. And so now how much are they making? 24,000 a week, yeah. So the most likely problem we're going to run into is not having enough buyers for oil. That said, I don't see that as being a problem. That's set to balance and it's completely full. Yeah, now we've of course got a lot of traffic trying to come in here. Because now we're just really overproducing. Some of these may even be too long. Because now the traffic's basically starting to get in its own way. In fact, what we'll do, we will upgrade the road. So that no matter where they're going, that was the wrong one. And we don't want the 8-lane, we want the 6-lane with a median. Anarchy off. Get back to the road tool. Okay, anarchy back on. Anarchy on. Yeah, so we're going to do a bit of moving as far as these roads go. Also going to move some assets, like for example this. It's going to be moved and twisted a little bit. May as well pull this out right now before it even becomes a problem. Same up here. And down here, everything's basically just going to go to hell, but I don't think we even need to go with the 6-lane all the way down that far, so we'll just leave it like that. I think that should be fine. Although now it's, of course, going to add traffic lights in everywhere. And of course we want that lane to also, you know what? We will actually just do that. Now we need the move it mod because we want to move this node over a little bit. There. Just so they actually have that parking space in front and not who knows where. Do we even need the 6 lane going down here? No, I think going down here 4 is enough. So what we want to do now, we just want to knock out traffic lights everywhere. Because obviously going up to a 6 lane is going to pop in traffic lights everywhere. And priority signs along this road. This is a priority road. This is a bit gummy, but yeah, the problem is people coming in here from what appears... Oh, that's actually return traffic, I think. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. That's return traffic from export, I think. Returning to facility. Delivering to medium warehouse. Returning to facility. Yeah, most of these are actually just coming back. So they're going to despawn when they get wherever they're going, but... Yeah, now we're starting to get some traffic bogging us down. You know what? Wait a sec. So. Control click is quick setup. Okay. Oh, I have to remove that one first. Okay. Remove, and now I can set one up with control. Let's see if that doesn't help us. Not really. No, I think we're gonna go without the traffic light. I think that's gonna do us better. Oh, removing time traffic lights is just so tedious. And how do I remove this now? Okay, what did it say? To remove that, click on time traffic lights. Yeah, click on the node and click on remove. Okay, so we click on time traffic lights, we click on the node, and where's remove? There, I have to click stop first, and now we can remove the normal traffic light that's in there. And just hope that our junction restrictions do, that our priority roads just kind of keep the whole thing flowing. Oh, that might be the problem, that they can flow in and they can't. So that means they'll flow through, but they won't. But overall, this is gumming up something fierce in these areas. So I retract my initial statement about everything working just fine. This is probably even gumming up to the point where garbage... Oh, no, it's not. Garbage truck's right there. Boom. So, okay. Not enough buyers for products. Down here is fine. We actually kind of want to see that. because that means that the traffic is just going to start going down a little bit. So yeah, oh god, we've totally over jumped our 1 hour mark. We're now at like an hour and 20 or something like that. So yeah, we'll take a look at improving this oil industry a little bit tomorrow, if necessary. That said, for the most part, it's running fine. It's earning us money. I'm fairly certain we can now go into our industries and see minus 2,000 something, but remember all of the stuff coming out of warehouses, which is this lowest one. This is warehousing and unique factories, right? Exactly. All of this is also based off the oil industry, and some of it off the fishing. So yeah, our industry is earning us 20,000 a week. Roughly, something like that. Obviously, it fluctuates up and down in the industry's DLC. But yeah, I think tomorrow we'll take a look at tossing in a harbor here, or a cargo hub specifically, so that they can, so that they don't have to send out so many trucks such a huge distance just to get rid of oil. Again, I'm thinking maybe like over here somewhere, and then just have a rail line come over through here, so that if somebody over here needs oil for any reason, they can just zzz, and problem solved. Don't have to stress here with going along the highway and coming back. And so yeah, with that, this is now the town of Lifström with its own little oil industry. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. If you have, please feel free to follow me on Twitch and to like and subscribe on YouTube. It really does help. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers!